So today is my Invest Your First $100 workshop, the very first one of 2026. And I'm just so excited. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Like, I've been practicing all morning. I reviewed the slides over and over. I made sure everybody had access. Like, I'm just so grateful because for so long I've been wanting to do things like this. And I hate that it was a layoff, my second layoff that reminded me that, like, girl, you can do the hard things. You can do the things you've been wanting to do. And if I'm honest, like, I'm in a season where I don't know if I want to go back to a 9 to 5, but I'm also personally, I don't feel like I'm where I want to be within my business. It's definitely growing, like I've already made more money this year than I have in former years, but it's just a mindset thing that I'm shifting through. And I know that this is what I want to do. Like, I want to help women with their money. Like, I want to teach women how to invest with strategy, with knowledge, and not the way that everybody else online makes it feel so complicated. It's like, if you don't put your money to work now, baby, you're going to be working forever for your money. And I don't care if you work a business, you work a 9 to 5, like, all of that is active income. And I'm just so grateful that, like, these women have trusted me to say, you know what, girl, you getting these wins, you building a $250,000 portfolio. I want the same. And so the workshop is literally just asking them $100 in one account in one investment, which is an ETF, exchange traded fund, or an index fund. And so I'm just looking forward to looking back on these videos and seeing, like, how you turned an idea from November 2025, like getting laid off, to this January 31st. Like, I'm just so grateful. So I'm about to sit here and eat my breakfast. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm eating, and then I'm gonna get ready for the workshop, and then I'll tell you guys about my experience and what I learned and things like that after the workshop. So this is my little plate for the morning. I am a fibroid fighting girly. So I have some pasture raised eggs. I have some avocado toast. I have some mixed berries for my fiber. And I have these, I don't know what these sausages are called, but they're good for your fibroids. They're made off of like chicken and apple, and they're just not processed the same way a lot of other apples are. I got my little water, of course. But I'm trying to eat balanced because I'm definitely having Jamaican food later. Welcome to the Invest Your First $100 live workshop. And of course, we'll get a chance to get to know each other a little bit too before we really dive in. So I want to just remind everybody that I'm working towards that, but I think for all beginners and people that are new, like, you should really lean into tax-friendly, non-taxable accounts. So 401ks, 403bs, 457s, these are the most common company-sponsored, government-sponsored retirement accounts. I love them because they allow you to essentially get a match. Everybody does not offer a match, but, let's say your company offers a 50%, they'll contribute 50% of whatever you put in there, So if you put $100 in there and they match you up to 50%, then that's $50. And again, I think a lot of times people feel like they don't have access to that money once they leave that company, and you do. Like, I'm in the process right now of rolling over an old 401k from my last job to Fidelity, which is where the rest of my accounts are, so that I have control over it. And I can pay, less fees because I no longer work for that company. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of these because your money can grow without being taxed. So any growth that's happening, any contributions you make to it, like, it's not going to show up anywhere. You don't have to pay for that growth, any of those contributions. Same thing with IRAs. We're going to use our IRA today. There's two types. There's a Roth IRA, which is for people who make less than $150,000, and it's tax friendly. So any kind of growth that's happening, any withdrawals after a certain age, which is 59 and a half, like, it's all tax-free money. You can pull it out and not pay taxes on it, versus a traditional IRA, which is for people who make more than 150. They do get a tax. Invest matters. So this is kind of what we'll go over today. And of course, I'll show you my portfolio. I'll walk you through why I invested and what I invested in. Market returns 7 to 10% in growth every single year. Does that mean it's going to return that every single year? No. Will it return more some years? Yes. What you invest in matters. Absolutely. But historically, it's usually 7 to 10% every year, which is a good thing. Much better than what we'll get from our checking, our savings, things like that. So for year one, let's say you earn 10% in interest. So that $100 now moves to $110. Year two, you're not starting at $100 anymore because you've earned 110. and you still got that 10% in annual return. So you're not starting again from $100. You're starting at 110, and then that moves you to 121. Same thing with year three. Again, this is you and your money just growing without you having to do anything for it in return. And as I mentioned, I love to give examples from my own portfolio here. This is from December of 2024 to allow you to buy a variety of companies, a basket of investments, if you will, for one purchase price, you know? So it gives you access into multiple companies. So normally you'll hear people say, oh, I own all these Apple stocks, all these Amazon stocks. Great for you. However, if Apple has a bad day, which they really do, but if they have a bad day, you're going to feel that, you know, and then it's going to throw off your whole day. For me, I prefer to buy ETFs, index funds, because I like my money being in multiple places at once for one purchase price. It's not like I have to go out and buy every one of these individually. I don't have to track everything that they're doing. We can look at this list, and we're probably familiar with 7 out of these 10 companies. We probably use them every single day in some way. NVIDIA's behind all this AI stuff. Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Meta, which is Instagram, Facebook, Tesla, like all these things are pretty familiar to us. So it's not something that we don't understand. And so having your money across multiple places helps for diversifying. So if Apple does have a bad day, Amazon probably didn't. Meta didn't. NVIDIA didn't. So it helps your money to still stay invested and not have, you know, risk a big drop by just investing in one company. So why you'll love them, because this is where I started with, they are less risky than trying to pick individual stocks and just track their growth. I think there's room for that, but I feel like as a beginner, the best thing that I decided was to go this ETF route, because again, I like my money in different places working for me. I can't go all in on one company. That's too close to just having one income. No, we want multiple streams of income. So they also have lower costs than mutual funds, and mutual funds are essentially peace of mind. It'll just let you know that, like, even if there is a bad day, some companies can do really well, and it can help balance your money, balance your portfolio, which is ultimately what we want. Okay, let's see. Where did the comment go? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, she said, I'm gonna shut down. Okay, cool. All right, that's fine. Um, all right, next is sector ETF. So these don't track they don't track a whole index. They essentially track like one industry. And so that can be tech, healthcare, finance. I actually do own VGT. They're in my Roth IRA, so I'll show you what that looks like too. And so essentially they bundle companies together based on an industry with the hope it'll grow. And it tends to, lean into trends. So AI is a big thing right now, healthcare, clean energy, health tech is becoming super like popular. So a lot of healthcare organizations are using more AI. Like AI is impacting every single industry. So like if that's something you're really into, then invest, because I feel like they're just slowly removing them. But a good way for you to check, and this is infidelity, is let's say like you want to, buy something. This was an old screenshot. I have more than $4 in there now, but I was like, let's just see what it looked like if I bought $4 of VOO. And then if they had a dollar amount here, then that's essentially what your transaction fee or your trading commission fee would be. I don't believe in paying fees. It should always be zero, in my opinion. So if you're buying fidelity-based funds, or even if you're buying VOO at a Fidelity, like, you still shouldn't have to pay fees. But I will show you when I did have to pay a fee, when I show you my portfolio. But for the most part, you shouldn't be paying anything outside of the expense ratio to own an ETF. And last, I think this is last, bonus is capital gains. And so I think a lot of people think of capital gains and they think of real estate, because I feel like the two go hand in hand. Essentially, what that means is when you sell a home and you make a profit, you pay some gains on whatever that is up to a certain amount. Same thing with investing. It's the profit you make when you sell for more than what you pay for, which is what we want. But again, I don't want us to sell. Okay. But if you must sell, there's two types of ways to sell. There's short term capital gains. So let's say you bought VOO in 2026 and you sell it to buy. So like for the workshop, I just added $100 manually, and now I'll be able to manually purchase the index fund. Yeah, it's not a requirement. So similar to ETFs, same types of index funds exist. We know what a broad market is, essentially same thing as an index ETF, sector, bond. They have a lot more international index funds than they do ETFs. I actually have one, so I'll walk you through what that looks like in my portfolio as well. Preguntas, questions. These are very similar to ETFs. That's why we don't have a lot on it. Very similar. It's just the way that you buy, sell, automate. That's different. Okay. All right. Let's go through my portfolio. I tried this one. Yes, one at a time. One at a time. REITs ain't going nowhere. But yeah, REITs are good. I'm a huge fan. You can't be logged in now. Okay. That is in your portfolio. So I know FCROX and FCILX is the most, but all of that is auto populated. So really all you need to do is make sure your ticker symbol is there. This for a little bit. I think I am too still interested in knowing more about brokerage accounts too, and kind of the benefits of that. Okay.
Reaching out, as well as I think for me the goal is consistency, right? So figuring out how this can be a consistent lifestyle versus just a one-off.
Yes. Okay, so I just finished my workshop and I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good about it. They had great questions. I spent a lot of time on accounts because I've recognized that people don't think about investment accounts and the power of them, as well as the limitations of them, as much as possible. So I'm definitely going to create some more content around that. But I really loved it. Two of the women couldn't make it, so I'll be sending them the recording. But I'm passionate about this, and I just love seeing women like have that aha moment. You know, I really do, especially when it comes to money and investing. Like, I know that this is what I want to do. Like, I said I wanted to do this back in November of 2025 when I got laid off, and I did it. So I'm so thankful. I'm so optimistic. I'm so excited about what the future holds, and I'm excited that the girlies literally invested with me on the workshop. So that was the goal. I thought it was too much information, but they were like, no, like, this was really good. I didn't know about these accounts. I didn't know about these investments. I know what to look for in the investments. I know how to do my research. Like, I'm feeling really good about the clarity they have. So my food is here. I got some Jamaican food because I'm about to chill for the rest of the day. I do need to wash my hair. But it's just a reminder to do the things that you want to do. Go after the dreams that you have and just take the first step. You just never know what God has for you. So I am chilling for the rest of the day. We're going to have our Money Girls group chat. We'll be doing quarterly check-ins. And I'm just excited to see them continue to grow as I continue to grow. Okay, so hopefully this was inspiring. I'm so on a high from the workshop. And I will be doing another one, okay? I will be doing another one likely in April or March of 2026. So if you want to be in that room, if you want to invest your first $100, if you want the clarity, the confidence, then join the wait list below. Okay, if you join the wait list, you get a $75 discount. The price of the workshop is $197, but if you join the wait list, you know, you get early access and you get it for $122. And so again, that'll be linked in the description. I've already had some people interested because they couldn't come because of kids. They didn't have the money. I understand, you know, which is why I plan to do these again. I'm committed to the next one being in March 28th specifically. So hold me to it. But I'm just looking forward myself to looking back on this video and saying, girl, you did that. You did the very first one. You was scared, but you pushed through, and it just shows me how much I know my shit. Okay, because I don't know. Sometimes it's like you go through things and you plan for things and it's like, am I even qualified to do this? And it's like, girl, yes. Because they all said I've learned things that I didn't even know I needed to learn. I know how to research an investment. I know where I should be investing my money. And that was the whole goal of the workshop. So I'm just very grateful. I'm very thankful. Thank you so much, God. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of 2026 holds for you, girl. So I will see you guys on the next video. But thank you so much for watching and have a great day.